everybody, and welcome on today's video. Well, some days are better than others, and this is what it is. This is my boxwood forest, and yep, I had the boxwood moth attack last year, and there was nothing left, but happily a couple of these trees seem to wake up, and instead of having this big pot on my benches, which of course is really nice if it is a nice forest, but it is not a nice forest because half of the trees are dead, they did not recover. I think I might just put the trees that are surviving in recovery mode and put them in a smaller pot. Maybe use a second pot to see if the ones that I think are dead are maybe recovering, but I don't have a whole lot of expectations for that. So from this nicely planted rock landscape forest, I think I will have to reduce and well, make sure that some of these trees are recovering well, and then maybe next year or when they're doing good, I can work again on this forest and maybe add some more trees. I have a couple of cuttings here which are, well, that's how a boxwood is supposed to look. So all these little things will go into a pot, and well, we'll try to make something fun of it. So here in the back I have a couple of pots that I might use to do something. But for the moment I'm just going to put the moss in them. Yeah, you know, that's what it is. So I'm going to remove the trees that are dead, I think. So this one, there's a little living part, so okay. Let's keep that. This one, I don't think it's doing anything. Now, you cannot do really the bend test on these, but because they break anyway, it's boxwood. So, well, I think that's a dead one. This also, but I'm going to give them a chance, of course. I think this one is really very dead, and this one also. So that makes 3 trees left. This one is full of little buds, so that's a good candidate, but it's not great, the root base. This one has 1 living branch, but oh, look at these roots, it's a disaster. And then we have this little cutting which will have probably the best roots of all. Yeah. Okay. So that's that big pot empty. And let's now have a look at the cuttings. So there's not a lot going on here, but there is some green, so I don't know. This has no roots. This has some green but no roots, but maybe some roots will form. This is looking good. So here I can even do some minor root work, maybe just remove a couple of these high roots and start to work on this root plane. So I'll remove just the top ones. This is still not a good root plane, but slowly. And then this one, has the most roots. Honestly, this is the only one that looks like it's a really healthy tree, and it's also cutting. So again, I'm not raking out the roots, I'm pushing the soil right through it. Now, maybe one of the things that I did not do right is to use too much of a draining soil, and I know that these boxwoods, they like a little bit of a acidic soil. So yeah, maybe I use some more compost. Okay, so here we have a reasonably good root base. It's cutting with roots at all sides. So I'll probably get rid of some of these upper roots. Which will give me a whole lot more trunk. So just going to comb this out a little. So fantastic boxwood forest at Nolanders. And yeah, I'm not anywhere near that. The trunks were so smooth, so soft, so well polished almost. It looked almost artificial, but it was artificial in that way that it was like a beautiful painting. So still not the perfect root base, but absolutely good enough to start with. Now I see a whole lot of people putting their trees on a plate and then trying to make around. An easy way, if you want to balance your root base, is just getting everything in the same direction. Give it one trim. This is a perfect circle if you open it now. So okay, well, let's do some planting. So before I forget, I should mention that this is half March and that I have a whole lot of trees to repot, but not a whole lot of time, and not a whole lot of time to edit all these videos. So I don't know when this thing is going to come out, but it's probably not next week. So yeah, but I just want to mention this because I think that's important if you want to know when in the season I did this. So okay, I don't think that I have a fantastic forest coming up here, but like I said, this is the recovery mode. Well, this is still the biggest tree, so I'm going to try to get that somewhere in the front here. So a video this week of Steve Backyard's Bonsai, channel that I really like. I also like Steve. I don't know him, of course, but I think he's just such a nice guy. And if I remember well, he was a teacher, just like me. And he made a nice little forest with, was it redwoods? I think, yeah. Looks nice with a big rock that he planted. So this is the first tree. No root work because, well, there's not a whole lot of roots. So the substrate that I'm using is a little bit more acidic. There's a little more compost in that. So that's one tree. It's a good tree, just this branch is very ugly, but we'll see. Okay. So we have this one, which is a really I don't know. Should I put him inside this composition or should I put him in recovery mode? Well, I mean, he can recover here. Poor trees. Alright. So it's a little bit thinner than this one, so I'm going to put it in the front here. I think that this branch is completely dead, so I'm using this one as a new top, new front. But yeah. Okay. I'm working this in. Not that there's a lot of roots to work that in, but we'll see. Okay. And then we have this one, which is alive and doing great. So for this one we can make a little hill. And we have a little branch here that might be interesting for the future. So just a little substrate to hold it in place. Here I can position some roots, so that's nice. Like so. This one's even thinner. I'll put that right in the back here. Yep, that's a good spot. Like so. Little more substrate on these roots here in the back. Okay, and then we have one with a little bit of root here that I can. Now this is 4, so one more, this is going to be 5, and you don't want. This one is a little smaller. So I'll put this one a little bit more in the front. And this branch is already not helping at all. So I'll reduce that. And there's absolutely no green on this. This is what I was afraid of, well, expecting. So little one here. And again, you don't want to have 3 trees in a row. Not that it will kill you or something, but I mean, if you can avoid it, it makes everything a little more interesting. Also, try not to have the same distance between your trees. And that's the 5 trees. So I now have these cuttings, but first of all I'm going to finish this, put all the roots nicely under the soil, and that will be it. So I'll reuse the moss that I had just to keep the moisture a little bit better in the pot, like so, little pieces, and then I'll have to find a little spot for the cuttings. Which I will probably put somewhere in the back. And I'm going to take a couple of little rocks to maybe anchor. No, this is okay. This might use a little rock here. This is quite okay. So let's plant these cuttings. So there's one little bit bigger. I'm gonna give it a shot right here. Going as deep as I can. And then a very small one. I think right here, or right here. Yeah, here. Okay. And making sure that they're well covered. So of course this is not a final design for this forest, but it's just to make these trees grow a little better. And like I said, you also need room on your benches because, well, the sky is not the limit. So here I'm fixing these two little cuttings with some moss. And that's gonna be it. And now I think it is really time to do some cleanup work and have a look at what's going on here. So here you have a quick 360 on what it's looking like at this moment. I know it's not much, but well, maybe some of these trees will recover and bud out a little more, and so, well, not really having 3 trees in a row, maybe just a little, but okay. I mean, this is a first planting and recovery operation. So yeah, you cannot always be on the winning side, but well, it's not that bad. I mean, sometimes these things happen. You gain some, you win some, you lose some. I mean, but I gained some. I have my rocks back, which are really nice rocks that I can probably use to do something else. These are these sandstones, which I really love, and I'm very lucky to have them in my neighborhood here. So yeah, well, actually, if this grows well, I think this is a nice size of a forest, very manageable, and could look really cute. So we'll see in the future if it grows. I will be very happy. If it doesn't grow, well, I probably still will have some nice boxwoods to do something with in the future. So that's all that I have for you today. Thank you for watching and see you next time.